Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today we're taking a look at Crysis 2 Remastered. Now, the remaster version dropped in 2022. It is a successor of original Crysis 2, obviously, and apparently it's improved in all aspects again, so better graphics, better textures, and so on and so forth. They did add in a ray tracing installment for this game, so to say, because well, the game, as you can see, is running in DirectX 11, but ray tracing is enabled, so we'll see how that goes. In terms of the game's requirements, it requires a 1060 as a minimum GPU, and recommended is 1660 Ti, if we can believe what's written on the internet. For the graphics, we're gonna go with a 4K native, anti-aliasing on SMA 2 text, and system spec is custom because there will be no motion blur. For advanced, we're running with very high everywhere, including ray tracing quality. DLSS is going to be turned off because, as always, we just want to see the raw performance of the GPU and the game itself. So we're going to be throwing 4070 Ti with an i5 96K running stock and 32 gigs of RAM at this title and see how it goes. So let's jump in. Now, obviously, as for everything ray traced when it comes to games, I do believe we're going to have a penalty. But we'll see how it actually is, because in all honesty, with DLSS this game actually runs absolutely fine. So here we are, enclosed location, 9.7 gigs of video memory allocated, 8.5 of RAM, and we're supposedly pulling 70 frames, which is weird. The gun does look slightly better, so I wouldn't say that there are no improvements. As you can see, we do have some frame dips already, so that's going to be fun going outside in the streets. And overall, I have very small suspicion that the ray tracing is taking away our performance here, but we'll see it in a second. Now, in comparison to the first remastered Crysis iteration, DLSS in this game actually helps out a lot. So if you enable that, you will actually have a fantastic time with everything that is DLSS supportive card. I'm not sure about FSR, since I'm not an AMD user. I didn't see a setting for FSR, but it might actually kind of work both ways, depends really on the GPU. So, what do we have now? We have someone crashing down. Okay, fair enough. Let's go have some fun with these guys here.
Must have gone down less than a block from where you are. You do realize what this means, right? This is our chance. This is it. Forget extraction. We have to jump on this. Go get samples from the crash. Get them to me here at the lab. This could be our best shot at rolling back the spore. Maybe the whole invasion even. But you better make it fast. Lockhart's going to have cells swarming all over that crash site. Nothing flat. Watch your ass, Prophet.
Reach the crash site and obtain xeno tissue extract record.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that this is too playable, all things considered, in all honesty, because 44 frames for Crysis 2 is almost a minimum requirement at this point. It does look good, but I wouldn't say that I could easily spot major differences between the remaster version and the regular Crysis 2, because the regular Crysis 2 also works actually in 4K, and even though there's no ray tracing and the textures probably are pretty much from 2000s, it still kind of holds up when it comes to graphical fidelity. And yeah, we're actually up to 11 gigs of video memory and 11 of RAM, so that's nice to have, I guess. I mean, it's not too bad in all honesty. I mean, for the raw performance, can't really blame the game for it, but yeah, I would kind of want a little bit more of the things here. A little bit more performance, I think, wouldn't hurt, in all honesty. Does look slightly better effects-wise, but I don't know. Wouldn't say this is groundbreaking in comparison to OG Crysis 2. Also 46 frames. Could do with slightly more frames, in all honesty. All things considered. Right. Before we continue on, let me just turn off the ray tracing. DLSS is still off, so that's a good news for everyone. I mean, ray tracing probably will help, you know, for graphical fidelity here and there, but... Oh wow, we're actually above 45 frames almost instantly. Way smoother experience, not gonna lie. Oh yeah, this is definitely the way to go. There's got to be a way we can get this gun. There's got to be a way. Whichever that way is, I think you could easily detach it, but it's not easily detaching now. Which I'm not blaming the game, I'm blaming my inability to find the buttons for it. But oh yeah, I mean, hey. For native 4K and just by turning off ray tracing to actually have playable frame rates while recording native 4K, I mean, hey. Let's be real here. This is not bad at all. I mean, you could possibly play around with DLSS and ray tracing just to see what actually fits your bill better. But performance-wise, I would say this is way better than I expected, in all honesty, so no complaints there. More stealth scarabing around. I mean, yeah, absolutely. This is absolutely playable. Now, I would wonder if we actually put ray tracing to performance, which probably will change a little bit of shading in the light. But then again, I'm not entirely sure which what type of integration with the ray tracing they have in this game. Guess if you really look for it, you will see it, but the way it tanks the frames just by being on very high and not seeing the benefit of it is slightly weird. Then again, every ray trace title kinda acts in a different way, so I'm not exactly too fussed about it when it comes to it. But yeah, 60-ish frames with ray tracing on performance. I mean, yeah, it's a decent experience. It's, you know, it's nothing too bad, should I say, but I don't know. I would need to do a side-by-side with an OG Crysis 2 4K Ultra Maxed and this title. I do believe that the resolution of the textures is definitely higher, because for the OG Crysis 2 that I actually did try to play a while back, it does look slightly blurry. I think it's full HD textures. These might actually be something towards 4K textures. The surface looks way more detailed. Anyhow, haven't really done my homework for that. I was just looking for the raw numbers. And the raw numbers actually are pretty decent. Slight dips at certain places below 60, like that's a thing though. Oh wow, this dude is going to town, really. But yeah, anyhow, I think these guys should give you kind of an idea about native 4K without DLSS and with and without ray tracing enabled. So I hope this was informative, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Over and out.